What's going on, everybody? Sharpie360 here, and welcome back to Sons of the Forest. Today is September 14th, Thursday, and that means update 11 is live. So it's a kind of a smaller one again, only been 2 weeks since the last one. So let's get started and take a look at what's new in this one. And if you find this video informative in any way or entertaining, make sure to give me a like and subscribe, and I would greatly appreciate it. Cool, let's get started. So as we saw in update 10, we got the addition of these outwards facing corner pieces. So now, on top of that, we have concave corners, and we have corner roofs and ramps that we can now build. So the inside corners for our building purposes, which is a lot of fun. I like that they have this addition in because it really ties everything together. Now they just need 45-degree angles for the foundation. Okay, so if we want to go about building one of the inside corners, all we need to do is get a couple of pillars placed as such, get them connected up, and then what we want to do is place one on the left and right going inwards like that, and then drop that in the center. Kind of like how we would do the convex corners or the outward facing corners. We do it with the inward facing corners, and now that gives us an option to place in the planks. So the other addition that they changed with this, you can see those pieces dropped right there, is that the plank sections will now split off at their respective realistic lengths. So the smaller we get, you can see that it's breaking them off even more. So keep that in mind. This is a huge mess if you're doing a lot of roofing and stuff this way. So yeah, it gets pretty messy, but overall, it's going to be a lot of fun to be able to incorporate this into the builds. So big ups on the inside corners. Sweet. So in addition to the inside facing corners, they have a note in the improvement section of the patch notes saying that beams can now be placed leaning on another leaning beam, allowing stacking of one level of leaning beams. So I don't know exactly what that means because it's so cryptic, but basically I think that's what it's referring to is this. So if we take these pillars and place them like that, and then we drop an inside one in like that, and then one on the other side, I think that's what it's talking about. I can't remember for sure if we were able to do this or not, all connected to one snap point like that. I feel like it's not been a case up until now. I can't remember though. So if you remember and I'm dead wrong or dead right, let me know in the comments section below because I for sure can't. But I think that's what that refers to. And that would make these corner pieces possible. Okay, so the next big thing that they added is they reworked the electricity system a little bit. So the solar panels are now freestanding items. So I used to have a solar panel here that you'd have to place on a module, but now you can see we have a blueprint that we can place it as a freestanding item. So we have that little white arrow as an indicator of which way it's facing. And then you obviously want to set it towards the sun. And then we have a solar panel we can drop anywhere. So that's cool. And then also we have batteries now. So batteries are going to allow us to be able to keep our electricity or our powered stuff running at night. It's a power bank. And so you can find the batteries at the golf carts, and then you can also find them in the bunkers. But when you have one and you have a solar panel down, basically you can just set it into that little outline there and it will be ready to be able to use just like that. So we don't need these here, so I'll pick them up and we'll go set them up proper. So for instance, I have this electric fence, and if I want to keep this electric fence running at night, I can use this battery bank to do so now. So I would, instead of linking it to a structure with a solar panel, I can just place a solar panel where I will need it, bring in a battery, just like that, and then also with the wiring it's now different. I need to snap it to the actual little screen module on the solar panel itself. You can see where that little snap point is. Before we would be able to just place it anywhere on the module and it would work, but now we have to anchor it to this little module piece right here. So I click that and then I can attach it to the fence. That sound means that we have power and we are live. So as far as the distance that this powers, I haven't been able to find an actual distance, just the lengths of the wiring, but it seems like this solar panel bank will power 20 different units that require power. And then if you come over here, I have my electric fence that I built over here, and it's all running off of one battery. And I wanted to count and see how many units we could power. And right here is the 20th unit. And then if you take a look at this other fence unit and I connect it, never mind that power. So if I connect it now, you can see that the whole thing shuts down. I don't have power anymore. And it looks like it can only power up to that 20 units mark. So if I take that off, it'll power back up. But if I were to turn this light on, then it shuts everything down again. So keep that in mind. Each solar panel will power 20 units of power. I'm not sure if anything will require more than 1 unit of power to be powered, but that's all the power you get from one power bank. All right, enough with the word power. The other thing you can do is with the freestanding stuff, you can place it more than one on a module now. So that's pretty cool. I like that because you can hide the battery banks a lot easier and a lot more cleverly now versus having to spread them out. And then as far as distance for the power limits, it's really just limited to how far you can stretch the wires and then the 20 units that I talked about. So this over here will power all the way over to this section right here. So all the way over here. And that's, again, I counted all of them, and that's 20 electric fence units that it's powering. And distance doesn't seem to make a difference. So that's pretty cool. Keep that in mind when you're building. So a couple additions to the bunkers that they made. They refined some of the lighting and the food. They extended Cave A. They added a question mark to Cave A, so whatever that means, you have to go find out. Like I said, this is a spoiler-free update videos, so I don't really go and check out that stuff. Any of the story or bunker-related stuff is all up for you guys to discover. So update 10 saw the addition of Frank the Fire, who's a cannibal variant that'll light himself on fire after dousing himself in alcohol. So we have 2 new variants today that we can take a look at. We have Eddy, that's a spear throwing cannibal, and then Greg, who runs around and places effigies. Well, effigy, the one that's on his back. So let's take a look at those guys. Let's spawn in Eddy first. And here's Eddy. Skinny Eddy apparently this time. It jumps up on the rocks or some high place and tries to get me with the sickle, but they also have 3 spears. Oh, got me. That they'll occasionally throw at you. So that's Eddy. So here's Greg. He's got an effigy on his back, a big one this time. Nice. That's what he's gonna do. And then he'll get mad and try and tag me. It's like hitting the effigy. What is he doing? Bro, that's yours. So yeah, Eddy will place, or Greg, oh nice. Greg will place effigies and try and tear them down, I guess. So those are the 2 cannibal variants that we have now. The spear one seems a little bit more troublesome than the effigy one, but who knows. And then a couple of honorable mentions that I wanted to talk about in the improvement section. It looks like babies can now be exploded into little bits and pieces. And then starting at about day 8, Frank the Fire will start leading around cannibal nomad families at times. And then it looks like the corner beams now contribute to the structural integrity of your buildings and whatnot. So they're not as easy to break down if only the corner exists. So they have structural integrity. So that's cool. And for this patch, we're not actually going to take a look at the patch notes like I usually have been doing, because we just kind of go in there and just graze through it, and that's where the biggest drop off is for my viewership on these videos. So there's no need to do that. I will just leave the link in the description like I always do for the patch notes if you want to go explore them for yourself. So I apologize to anybody that was looking forward to looking at the patch notes, but we're going to omit that this time. And that is actually going to wrap things up. So it's a smaller patch, but the cool thing being this inside corner is going to be a lot of fun to build with, like I have already mentioned. That and the outside corner really tie in the roofing and the possibilities for cool structures. And the only thing we need now is that 45-degree foundation or horizontal beam placement. That would be sweet. So that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. If you have found this video informative or entertaining, make sure to give me a like and possibly subscribe, because I'm covering all of the future Sons of the Forest updates. If you're watching over here on Rumble, hit that like button and smash the follow as well, because I really like to see those numbers go up too. And that's going to do it. So again, thanks again for watching, and until next time, sharp out.